Good morning, good people. This is the Wake Up with Ray G show brought to you by Bets TV. Jay, this is all I had in my closet. OU jersey, USC. This is all I had that was clean, man. I had nothing else. Nothing else. What's going on
You
today,
are
man?
just trolling all of Sooner Nation with your CeeDee Lamb jersey, your Trojan hat. You're
This
really
was
trying to get the people riled up today.
This is all I had. This was it. I went in the closet and I'm looking through. Everything that I owned was filthy. I don't even have below the waist. I don't even have pants on. Pants. I had one pair of underwear left. I just had the Sooners jersey and a Trojans hat. I don't know. Hey, Lincoln Riley. I mean, I'm covered. Lincoln Riley from head to waist, right? I feel good, man. I feel good still. I'm on a high.
I can see that. Yeah, and
Yeah.
and like you said, December 30th, or sorry, November 30th. It is the last day
It's
of
the
November.
last
You
day
asked
of
me before
November.
the show. It is the
Yeah,
last day of
last
November.
day
I
of
wasn't
November.
sure. I checked it while we were getting started.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah,
Wake up
welcome
with
to the
Ray G.
show.
Good morning, people.
Yeah. I don't know. You're gonna have to keep it on the rails. I'm a kid in a candy store, man. I mean, recruits are transferring. This is all I had clean. Yeah.
Please don't stand up, okay? That's just do the people a favor. Please don't stand up. That's all
If
I
you
ask. That's
stay
all I
until
ask.
8:05, I will stand up real quick. Just to get. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. But welcome everybody. Glad to be here today. We got a lot to get into. Yes, Oklahoma Sooners. I'm sorry for you, but Brent Venables. Hell of a hire. I mean, defensive-minded coach. He's familiar with OU. I think y'all will be in good hands with Brent Venables. Probably not in as good a hands as we'll be in with Lincoln Riley at the helm. But we've got a lot of time to talk about all the USC stuff. We got to talk about that dreadful Monday Night Football game. I told you it was going to be bad, Jay. I told you it was going to be bad. We got college football coaches going all over the place, recruits. Transfer portal day, Jay, was better than like NFL trade deadline and NFL free agency combined. It's just this person's transferring and you get a transfer. These one-time transfer rules and I think it's the best thing the NCAA has done in a long time. Let these kids dip, man. If they're at a location, they're not really feeling it. Give them one chance to transfer and be immediately eligible to play. Coaches can do it. So I'm glad the NCAA instituted this rule, and I hope it works out for some of the guys that are moving around. But in coaching carousel news, the big one that dropped yesterday, former Notre Dame Fighting Irish coach Brian Kelly is leaving Indiana, and he's taking his talents down to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And listen, I think this was a great hire by LSU, a great hire. I know a lot of USC fans were interested in Brian Kelly. You know, if it wasn't going to be Lincoln Riley, I'd rather Brian Kelly be there. What he was able to do at Notre Dame and, qualifying, these high school kids that are trying to get into these top academic schools, it's not easy, USC is also not an easy school to get into, but Notre Dame, much different beast. And the quality of athlete that he's going to be able to recruit at LSU is going to be outstanding. So I think he was the right hire for LSU, playing in the SEC, defensive. He normally has good defenses. We've seen him produced great defensive stars, Kyle Hamilton being the latest, Michael Mayer, the fantastic tight end. I thought this was a hell of a hire for the LSU Tigers, and they should be real excited about Brian Kelly coming down there and being able to work his magic in Baton Rouge because they desperately need it. That team fell off bad after winning the Natty in 2019. Other news from the college coaching world, the Fresno State coach, I don't know how to, Kalen DeBoer, whatever his name is, DeBoer, from Fresno State. He's going to be the new head coach at Washington. Good hire for Washington. I like it. We'll see how it works out. But he was doing wonders at Fresno State and producing some pretty good players. So excited to see how that plays out. We talked about the transfer rule a little bit. Spencer Rattler transferring. Georgia Tech star running back Jahmyr Gibbs, he's transferring. TCU star running back Zach Evans, he's transferring. It's the list goes on, and I don't think we're done yet seeing players move on to new teams. We didn't get a chance to talk about it, but SMU head coach Sonny Dykes is going to take over the TCU job. Good hire for TCU. Brent Venables to Oklahoma. We mentioned that a little bit earlier. And there are some Some rumblings about Caleb Williams, some rumblings about DJ Uyonga-Gulay. So we'll see how all this unfolds over the next couple of weeks. I think we'll get more news that pops up, more coaching changes that pop up as we get past these conference titles this upcoming weekend. But Jay, you want to do a little college football playoff prediction right now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's take a look. All right, so here are the college football playoff title odds. The odds-on favorite, which, I mean, anybody could have told you this, but Georgia is favored at minus 220. You've got Alabama second favorite odds to win the Natty at plus 650. Michigan at plus 850. Oklahoma State at plus 1400. Notre Dame and Cincinnati still, they've got some odds there. They've got some numbers there, but Notre Dame plus 2,500. Cincinnati plus 1,600. Jay, who's winning the Natty?
This is tough, man. I honestly think it'd be Alabama or Michigan. I don't know if I'm sold on Georgia yet. I don't know why, and maybe you can convince me, but I'm just as dominant as their defense is. I just don't believe in the offense, and so it's like, okay, Michigan still has a top 30 defense. Alabama, I think, has a top 40 defense. Georgia obviously has the best defense in the country.
They have the top defense,
but their offense is just, it's going to be hit or miss. And we're relying on a quarterback that we do not trust at all. Like, at all. And that's the biggest thing, is that in those big stages, in those big moments, against pretty damn good defenses. Come on.
Come on. He's played great this season. I'm just throwing it out there.
If George Pickens comes back, that will help. But I don't trust Stetson Bennett. Oklahoma State, though, being the fourth favorite, is interesting. Not that I like Spencer Sanders that much, or I like the team that much, but they're playing well. And I'm surprised the bettors are going this route, because I don't even think either of us expect them to be in the top 4 when it's all said and done at the end of the day, because the new rankings will come out today. Not sure if that shifts the odds at all. I like what Michigan's doing, man. They control the trenches really well. They play well on offense. And I like that they have a very balanced attack on both sides of the ball. Alabama, if they play a complete game, can do that. Georgia, though, I just don't know, man. Like, I don't believe we'll have to see how they play against Alabama. Then maybe I'll change my mind, but I just haven't seen them do a whole lot. But the big thing they do very well, they score a lot of defensive touchdowns. So if they're going to keep scoring defensive touchdowns, then yes, they can dominate someone. But it's not going to necessarily be on offense.
Well, I don't know if we can bank on defensive touchdowns, but here's my thing, man. The fact that Alabama's sitting there at plus 650,
yeah,
I think this is just RayGQue conspiracy, right? Now I'm tinfoil hat G. I think them losing to Georgia is already baked into that. I think that's already baked into the pricing. I think they're already anticipating Alabama to take an L to Georgia and still make the damn college. I don't think it's a given that Oklahoma State beats Baylor in the Big 12 title game. I see Bruning talk about they'll make it. No offense to Oklahoma State fans, I don't believe anybody wants to see that. Like, I don't care.
Don't make me tell Linda that you said. I'll clip it. I'll send it to her.
Tell Linda.
She'll come after you.
I love Linda. Linda knows I love her. But nobody wants to see them in the college football playoff. I'm sorry. I do not want to see it. I have no interest in watching Oklahoma State get destroyed by Michigan or Georgia in the first round. It's a waste of a game. Let's not use that. It's actually, like, I don't care. Put Cincinnati's in, Michigan's in, leave Alabama in so we can see Alabama play somebody else. Like, I have no interest in watching Oklahoma State. I don't give a damn about parity. I don't care about give the little guy a chance. I'm not here for that. If you're monopolize it, damn it. If you are the powerful entity, I don't give a damn. You don't have to give little brother a shot. If little brother, no, there's a reason why you're Oklahoma State. I don't want to see them on my TV screen on January 1st or December 31st. To start my year off. I don't want to see Oklahoma State, Georgia. Get the hell out of here. I don't want to see it. And I get it, Bruno. It doesn't matter who the 4th team is. It does matter. I don't want to see Oklahoma State, damn it. So let's get them out of there. Let's move on from that. Tonight, I don't know what they're going to do tonight. I would suspect 1, 2 will be Georgia, Michigan. 3 will be Alabama. And 4 will be Cincinnati, if I had to take a guess. Michigan was already ranked 5th in the country, and they beat the number 2 team handedly, kicked their ass handedly. So I think Michigan is going to be number 2 in the college football playoff rankings today. Alabama will still be 3rd, and I think Cincinnati will be 4th. And we'll see how that plays out. Cincinnati's got Houston this weekend. Oklahoma State's got Baylor. Michigan's got Iowa. Alabama's got Georgia. A lot of stuff is going to shake out, and the Brian Kelly-less Notre Dame Fighting Irish will be waiting to see what happens. And no, I don't want to see them in the college football playoff either.
Yeah, but don't you think it's weird that they do still have a shot to make it, but Brian Kelly's pretty much said that as of today, he's not going to be coaching for the Fighting Irish anymore. That sucks, man.
Rough,
at least with Lincoln Riley, they don't have a shot. But for Brian Kelly to leave now, when they really do, like if any of those teams lose, or even if something kind of happens, they do have a shot to make it. So it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah,
Bruning, you say they don't have a shot. I think it's slim, obviously, to make it. But
here's the thing.
Anybody
that's speaking in absolutes about what's going to happen, Alabama, there's no shot. Notre Dame, there's no shot. Oklahoma State, none of us know a damn thing. Because when the rankings come out and they've got Notre Dame at 3 and Alabama at 2, you just don't know, because there is no formula into which the College Football Playoff Committee uses to determine who makes the Final Four. There is no, at least with the BCS, as wild as that computer system was, you kind of knew what you needed to do in order to accumulate points and quality wins. Nobody knows anything, because these people sit in a room, and I guarantee, the only certainty that I can tell you, this is the only, and take it to the bank, cash this shit to the bank. And the only certainty I can tell you that happens in that room is there are other conversations that go into play when picking that Final Four outside of wins and losses, quality of opponent. They're looking at everything, because at the end of the day, the NCAA is a business. They're not in the business of parity for all and let's bring the little guy in and Boise State. This is a business, and I promise you, the individuals sitting in that room, when they make that decision, the business-related aspect of collegiate sports, of college football, of TV money, of viewership will 100% factor into their decision. How much of a factor that is, whether that's 20% of their decision, 50%, that's the only thing I can guarantee you. So while we're sitting back talking about who's deserving because their record and the wins and losses, when they get in that room, that'll be a part of it. But the dollars and cents, the bottom line, is going to be another factor, and that's the only thing that I can tell you with absolute certainty is going to happen in that room. As far as the playoff rankings, honestly, I just don't want to see some of these teams in there. I just have no interest in it. But Georgia's going to win the national championship, or at least they should. They should. I just don't think anybody can score. The best chance was, in my opinion, was Ohio State, and they couldn't get it done, so there's no point in talking about losers because that's what they are. They're losers. All right, Jay, we had a terrible Monday Night Football game last night, just god-awful. The Seattle Seahawks 17, the Seattle Seahawks 15, Washington Football 17, and you put in the show sheet just when you thought primetime games couldn't get any worse, they did. And the game wasn't good, and I was not excited going into this matchup. Overall takeaways, I'm concerned about DK Metcalf. I don't believe Pete Carroll's going to survive next season. Like, he's not going to be around next season. I don't think Russell Wilson's going to be there next season. Seattle is due for a monster overhaul. They are clearly, in my opinion, the worst team in the NFC West. And do they have a first-round pick next year, or did they trade? Is that gone? Because
let me check.
It's gone. You're checking it right now, or
let me check it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they do from that Jamal Adams trade. I don't think they do. Taylor Heineke, he's battling for a job, man. Taylor Heineke is battling for a starting job with the Washington Football Team. I thought he played fine, I guess. He was okay. He's running for his life a little bit. I don't know, man. Quarterback play across the NFL right now is just, it's truly the haves and everybody else as the have-nots. I guess he's fine. He played fine last night, but the star of the show was Antonio Gibson, man. Antonio Gibson was the star of the show. 36 damn touches for Antonio Gibson. I did a trade show, and I was talking about, man, I don't know if we'll ever fully see Antonio Gibson realize that CMC-type volume because he's not getting to work in the receiving game. And in this one, boom, 7 receptions. He was ripping off long runs, had long runs called back in the game, running over DBs on the sideline. He was the bright spot for the Washington football team. Antonio Gibson is a beast, man. Very good young running back. And he had himself a game on Monday Night Football. I thought he played well. The only thing he didn't do was get in the end zone. But a very good game, a very good game from Antonio Gibson. The Washington football team lost their kicker. I mean, he tried to tackle somebody and he got hurt. So they couldn't even go for it. They couldn't even go for field goals in this matchup. And Seattle still couldn't get it done. Jay, what were your thoughts watching this game? I texted you, and I know you said you stopped watching after halftime, but just give us your overall takeaways from this cluster of a game.
Yeah, so I watched the first half, and then third quarter, I was like, I don't know. And then you texted me, I was like, okay, like I'll tune back in for the end. To be fair, the ending was, we'll call it dramatic. I'm not going to go as far to say it was good. It was dramatic because the football team almost blew it.
Dramatically
bad. They let Freddie Swain go right up the seam, and the safeties were split out wide, and there was no one in the middle, and Russell Wilson hit him. But Russell Wilson also missed a ton of passes. On top of missing passes, he wasn't looking for the right receivers. He was looking downfield, trying to force the ball. It didn't work, and he hasn't looked good on top of that. He's 20 for 31, which is fine, 247 too, but they have no running game either. And you talk about not having a first-round pick. They don't. Again, the terrible Jamal Adams trade and consequentive signing on top of that, it's going to haunt them. It was a terrible decision when they did it. The Jets, man, they're looking in good shape now. Seattle's 3-8 right now. Jets still have their first-round pick, so they're going to have probably a top 10,
so Jets,
maybe even top.
Jets are going to have 2 top picks in the draft?
Well, the Jets have their pick, and they have Seattle. Wherever Seattle's at in the standings, I'm not sure. But they're 3-8, so they're going to be pretty low because now the Jets, I believe, have 3 wins. They beat Tennessee.
Jets have
they
3
just
wins.
beat Houston.
Yep.
Houston, I think, has 2 wins. So the only team I think who doesn't have 2 wins is the Jags. Oh, no, the Jags beat the Bills. So, man, Seattle could be in the running for the number 1 pick.
I mean,
which is scary.
The Lions are 0-10-1. I mean,
Lions.
The Lions, I think the Lions have that locked up. 0-10. I actually need to look up a prop bet for number 1 overall pick because I cashed Kayvon Thibodeau in. I didn't cash it in, but I made that bet coming into the season, and he had decent odds to go, to be the number 1 overall pick. But I want to see if I can lay some money on Aiden Hutchinson because I just think the story of him.
Oh, you think so, eh?
Yeah, I mean, here's my thing, man. I don't think there's a lot that separates Thibodeau and Aiden Hutchinson, and this show is gonna turn into so much draft stuff once the time is there. But they're both outstanding defensive ends. I think they win in different ways. Hutchinson is a little more powerful. Kayvon Thibodeau more of a speed edge rusher. But playing in Michigan, the Lions, I mean, it's Detroit, Michigan. If they were gonna go edge, I think the narrative around it and the skill differential it's negligible. I think Aiden Hutchinson's got a great shot to go number 1 overall. It's not going to be a quarterback, not going to be a lineman, not going to be a defensive back. Do you see any odds on Hutchinson?
Yeah, he's 15-1, and he's actually from Michigan. I didn't know that. I just looked that up.
15-1?
15. He's same odds as Kenny Pickett right now to go same odds as Kenny Pickett and Derek Stingley Jr.
So plus 1,500 for Hutchinson?
Yeah, 15-1.
Bro, I'm putting 2 units on
That's on DraftKings right now, 15-1.
I'm putting 2
but
units on
Kayvon Thibodeau is still the runaway favorite at -110. Matt Corral 250. Malik Willis 450.
Nope.
Carson Strong 500.
I am going to I kind of want to hurry up and do this now. I'll wait till after the show. I'm putting 2 units on it. I think once it's all said and done, especially when he's going to test just as freakishly as Thibodeau, man. Hutchinson, I think.
Do you think that the college football playoff? I think to your point, the college football playoff atmosphere, the environment, the stage does a lot for those. Like you look at a lot of players who have made their name.
We just saw it happen last year with Trey Sermon. We literally just saw it happen with Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon did nothing the entire football season, and then his final 3 games, the Big Ten title game versus Northwestern when he went for like 300 yards. Yeah. Then he followed it up with like 2-something in the first round of college. Like I think he had like a 3-week stretch where he was just dominant, and then he got hurt first play of the game in the Natty. But yeah, I think if he gets a sack in the Big Ten title game, and it's against Spencer Petras, whatever his name is from Iowa, he likes to give up the draws, so it's definitely probably a possibility that he's going to bend over and let Hutchinson, to him. I definitely think his stock will continue to rise throughout this bowl season. All eyes are going to be focused on Michigan, man. This is 15 to 1. Everybody out there, I'd put something on that now because after the weekend, after they play, I guarantee it won't be 15-1. I will put money on. I mean, I guarantee that. That's actually really good juice right there. I like it. I don't know how we got from the Monday night game to that, but
Aiden Hutchinson.
I literally have no clue how. Well, we talking about Seattle's record. Russell Wilson, man, are you concerned about Russ? Are you concerned about Russ? I don't know if him and DK got issues. DK didn't have a target, dude. I'm watching the game, Jay. It was the start of the fourth quarter, and they picked up a first down, and the announcer said that was their first down since like the 2-minute mark in the second quarter. They hadn't even gotten a damn first down in a quarter and a half of football, man. DK 0 targets through the first half. He's open in the back of the end zone. Russell Wilson misses him.
Yeah, for the 2-point conversion.
Are you concerned about this Russ? This team just looks bad, man. Pete's got to go. He's ruining my DK Metcalf shares. He's ruining them.
Well, it's interesting that you point out DK because my biggest point with DK, and while I didn't love him throughout the draft process, I loved him with Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
But how good is he going to be without Russell Wilson? And that's a very difficult line to toe for a lot of receivers. You know, we talk about Terry McLaurin, how great he is because he seems to be QB proof. We used to talk about DeAndre Hopkins as QB proof. We still don't know if DK Metcalf is QB proof, but where we have seen him, he's very fast. He's very strong. He can go up and get the ball. But I still have to see it to believe it. I think Russ needs to go. I think that part of the reason why they're losing games is because he's not making the right play every time. We're so used to seeing him always finding the open guy, but there's literally plays where he's not throwing to Freddie Swain 20 yards down the field wide open and chucking it to DK Metcalf just because he can.
Yeah.
And you're just like, dude, what are you doing? And even the 2-point conversion, like you talked about DK running through the back of the end zone, he could have thrown it to the corner, but he was laser focused on the middle of the field. Like, you're a quarterback. You're probably going to Hall of Fame. Scan the field. Go through your reads.
He's a Hall of Fame quarterback, but
he was deadlocked on the middle of the field. Fuller saw that. He read his eyes. He broke off of DK, and he went and picked off the ball. It wasn't a difficult play to make from a DB's perspective. These guys are smart too. Russ can't just stare down guys and expect to make any plays. I think that, to your point, Pete has to go. He's been god-awful. They have no running game. They have no offensive line. Let Russ go to start over. But at this point, what do you do? Like, they don't have any picks. They don't have draft capital. Like, they have to literally go full Lions, like,
you have
to the basement.
You have to hire a coach and know that, like, we're going to suck for the next 3 years. And you just need to suck for 3 years. You need to trade these players, get what you can. Dwayne Brown, I know they signed him, but they need to be they need to be full dumpster fire mode. Brandon dropped this in the chat. So I believe he says yes, 4-5. So the Jets have the 4th and 5th pick currently. The Giants have the 6th and 7th pick currently. And the Eagles have the 9th and 10th pick currently. So
damn.
That's crazy. These teams going all in and yeah. Is Russ tanking Pete Carroll's retention chances on purpose? I think Russ wants out of Seattle, man. I mean, it's a change of scenery. I think there was truth to the rumors that he wanted to be in a big market. You know, Sierra and him do a lot of other stuff outside of football, and you ain't getting that done in damn Tacoma or Bellevue, Washington, wherever the hell they live at. So they probably just need to get out of there. So I honestly don't want to talk about this game anymore. It was terrible. McLaurin didn't do anything. Ever since I made that bold proclamation about McLaurin, he's been shitty the entire time.
You need to stop it.
I am done.
Big time curse this year.
I am done talking about players. He's not been good since I said that. All right. We got a lot of news, Jay, and this pains me. I'm looking at this list. All right, here we go. Christian McCaffrey, done for the season. He's on IR. It's over. I mean, 2 years in a row, Christian McCaffrey's been absolutely worthless for us in fantasy. Man, I don't know. I don't know, man. Listen, CMC is great. Nobody's going to argue and debate that. But CMC is also, he's a small running back, man. He's great, but he's listed at 205, which means his playing weight is probably 200, 198, 197, and all that abuse and getting hit and getting rolled up on, it's going to catch up to you at some point in time, man. It's going to catch up to you at some point in time. And I'm not injury prone conspiracy theorist, but he's always getting hurt. He's always getting hurt now. Always. Like, I saw some people saying just transition him to full-time slot receiver. Like, let him be J.D. McKissick. You know what I mean? Honestly, like, what would be the harm in that? Like, let Chubb Hubbard bang between the tackles. You put Christian McCaffrey in there and let him be a glorified satellite back. Like, I don't know, man. I am this thing with these running backs, man. It's starting to really get me off of this big time RB movement in fantasy football. Christian McCaffrey's out. Dalvin Cook, he's gonna miss 2 games, so now he's hurt. His shoulder's banged up. He's out 2 games. DeAndre Swift questionable with Week 13 with the shoulder injury after the Roquan Smith hit on Thanksgiving, so he's hurt. Jalen Hurts, ankle injury. He's questionable. They want to get his ass out of there anyway, so I wouldn't even be shocked if Gardner Minshew plays. Odell Beckham has a hip pointer and is questionable for Week 13. Browns offensive lineman Jack Conklin, done, towards patella tendon. They were talking about this Browns offensive line being so great. Jedrick Wills has been bad. He has not been good at all. I don't know what happened to Jedrick Wills from last season to this season. He's not playing well. A.J. Brown on IR with a chest injury. Michael Carter on IR with an ankle injury. Aaron Rodgers, he was talking about he was going to have surgery on his toe. He's not having surgery. Aaron Rodgers is fine. Dan Arnold out 2 to 4 weeks. The tight end from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Darren Waller is week to week with the knee injury. IT band issue, doubtful for Sunday. Alvin Kamara back at practice. We don't know if he's going to play. Deebo Samuel has a groin strain. They ran his ass into the dirt. Now he's hurt. He's out a week or 2. Linebacker Fred Warner, hamstring injury. He's out a week or 2. Ezekiel Elliott, he's hurt, but apparently he's back. But damn it, he doesn't even need to be on the field because he's slow as molasses. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what to do at this point, Jay. Everybody's hurt. War of attrition. Fantasy football. Some skill, a hell of a lot of luck, especially with the damn 18-week season now, or however many weeks it is. A little bit of skill during your draft, a lot of luck to win a fantasy title. Anything?
Yeah. How crazy is it that we're seeing what feels like more major injuries in the NFL than we've ever seen, and we're having a longer season this year and probably a longer season next year, because next year is supposed to be the 18-game season, right? So, man, I don't know what they're going to do with these running backs, especially every running back is getting hurt. You talk about we talk about how Jonathan Taylor, he's younger, but he's got a lot of carries. And I talked about this a few weeks ago when Christian McCaffrey got hurt. I was like, maybe all those Stanford carries and all those receptions are starting to catch up with him a little bit. All those extra miles he had in college, catching up to him a little bit. JT is still really young, but Nick Chubb, another guy that we see as invincible, right? He's huge, 230, 240, that Derrick Henry mold. He's been getting banged up too. So what do we do with these elite running backs? And I want to bring up Joe Mixon to you.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon is actually on his second contract. He's balling right now. But in fantasy football, do we think he is a legitimate long-term answer? Because Alvin Kamara he split carries with Samaje Perine in Oklahoma. So he wasn't a bell cow running back getting a ton of work. Doesn't have those extra miles that he had in college. But he's still on his second contract now. He's had his 4 years. He wasn't a full bell cow. But this is the first year we're really finally seeing the value back for Joe Mixon. How do you feel about him going forward, knowing that in 2 to 3 years he could be, pretty much done?
Man, I honestly have I don't know, Jay. I'm still of the belief that this is just football, man. It's just football. I played defensive back and I was injured. Broke my leg, broken wrist. Ankles, your ankles get shit just happens in the course of a game. But I don't know, man. Honestly, I've been thinking about it because you're saying Joe Mixon. Go ahead and add Saquon Barkley to that, Aaron Jones to that. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think everyone talks about being a year too early versus a year too late. What do you do with Jonathan Taylor? Because right now he seems like the greatest thing on earth, right? But this is exactly what things change so quick. Do you remember the 101 like in 2015 consensus was like David Johnson. And
Yeah.
we're just like he'll never fall off. He's just great in the receiving game and all that. It took one season where he got hurt and it was snowball effect. David Johnson is irrelevant in fantasy football. Le'Veon Bell from the 101,
Bell, yeah.
irrelevant. Melvin Gordon was approaching that tier with the Chargers, right? Now he's a lame duck running back waiting for Javonte Williams to take over. How long
Todd Gurley
How
another
long
one.
before the next Joe Mixon comes along in Cincinnati, or A.J. Dillon usurps Aaron Jones, or Tony Pollard usurps Ezekiel Elliott? Man, for me personally, man, the way that I'm trending my fantasy football and betting sort of mindset is I'll just bank on like the Tony Pollards, the Ramondre Stevensons, and I'll just load up at wide receiver. Like I don't even care if DK's not catching. I'll just load up, and I know receivers get hurt, but it's like these running backs are fucking babies now. Emmitt Smith and Jerome Bettis never had somebody to spell them. Emmitt Smith's getting every damn carry. Jerome Bettis, every carry. LaDainian Tomlinson, Curtis Martin.
Yeah.
Like, what has happened over the course of, like, these new age football players are out there playing damn flag football? I don't know, man, but I'm looking at this list, and it's concerning. You don't want to see Deebo Samuel. Groin injuries, not good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, stuff like that is not good. So they're working the hell out of these guys, and I think we're going to start to see. I think Bill Belichick had it right, man. Bill Belichick just has like 3 or 4, uses them, and throws them on the side of the road when he's done. He just uses them up for a couple of years, and then you're gone. You do your thing, and then you're gone. It's going to be interesting to follow this sort of trend with these running backs because they're all getting hurt. Just brutal. All right, MVP. Do we got an MVP graphic? I don't think we got the MVP graphics, but MVP still wide open. Tom Brady is the favorite for NFL MVP right now at plus 350. Josh Allen, second best odds at plus 450. Aaron Rodgers plus 600. Aaron Rodgers is sneaky, man. I think Aaron Rodgers is sneaky. I think he's playing. I think the COVID vaccination thing will ding him ultimately, but he's playing like an MVP again this season. Offensive Player of the Year, Mac Jones is the favorite at minus 300.
Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Offensive Rookie of the Year. Excuse me. Yes. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Y'all know what I mean if I'm talking about Mac Jones. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Mac Jones is the favorite at minus 300. That's quite a bit. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Micah Parsons minus 500. Jay, can you check to see if DraftKings has a Defensive Player of the Year odds for Micah Parsons? I know we found it on some.
They don't.
They still don't have him as Defensive Player of the Year. Okay.
Disrespecting him still.
Yep, still disrespecting him. Myles Garrett, the heavy favorite, probably will win it. I think he's pacing to break Michael Strahan's record. Well, he was pacing, but I don't believe he got a sack of Lamar Jackson on Sunday night, so I think he's a little behind Michael Strahan's all-time sack record for an individual season, but he's the favorite. Dak is the heavy favorite for Comeback Player of the Year, minus 400. Joe Burrow, plus 500 for Comeback Player of the Year, so still a little bit of a chance Joe Burrow pulls it off, but I think if Dak finishes out the season, Dallas goes to the playoffs, Dak is going to win that award. Any surprising numbers for you? Do you agree? I keep telling you, all of these awards, man, from college to damn pro, there's got to be a story around it. Tom Brady winning the NFL MVP at 44 years old, coming off of a Super Bowl. Just give it. Like, he's going to win it. He's going to win it.
Yeah, he's going to win it. I have one for you, though. Matthew Judon, Defensive Player of the Year at plus 800.
I can see it.
Leader of the Pats defense, right? The resurgence, Bill Belichick Coach of the Year narrative, right? All the different things kind of going into it. Yeah. Mac Jones Rookie of the Year. Bill Belichick front runner for Coach of the Year plus 300. And I was going to bring this up yesterday, but we had, a loaded show, lots of things to talk about. I'm not surprised. This is a bet that people, and us included, should have saw coming weeks ago. Back when Vrabel was still the favorite, Belichick, you probably could have got him at 15 to 1, 16 to 1. Like, now he's plus 300. Cliff Kingsbury's 400. LaFleur 600. Zach Taylor 800. Vrabel 800. McCarthy 1600. Belichick's gonna win it. Like, I don't see how maybe Kingsbury could win it, but I don't see how Belichick doesn't win it.
You damn right, Brett. I got a big smile like a proud Papa Ray on that Mac line. Yeah, I mean, listen, if they beat Buffalo on Monday night, I know this sounds crazy, people. I know, Jay, I know it sounds crazy. But I think there's a real chance New England ends up with the number 1 seed in the AFC. The number 1 seed. Think about this story for a minute. Let's just close your eyes. Have you seen A Time to Kill with Matthew McConaughey? Let me not.
No.
Let me not even go into that because I was going to have you close your eyes and imagine something. Don't worry about it. Go check it out, you youngsters. It's a fantastic movie. Makes you cry at the end. But he loses Tom Brady, right? Loses Tom Brady. Tom Brady leaves, goes to Tampa Bay, wins the Super Bowl. He drafts his new Tom Brady that wasn't worthy of the number 3 overall pick and takes a rookie takes him to the Super Bowl to face Tom Brady. How fucking great of a Super Bowl matchup would that be? New England versus Tampa Bay in LA, because the game is in SoFi, right? It's in LA. Man, I think there's a real possibility New England is the top team in the AFC. And this Monday night matchup is going to be huge for the Patriots. And if they beat Buffalo, they're going to win it, man. They're going to win the AFC East. They're probably going to be a top seed in the AFC. And to take a rookie quarterback, conspiracy theory Ray, I'm putting it back on, Jay. I still 100% believe the San Francisco 49ers, or at least Kyle Shanahan, wanted Mac Jones at 3.
Yeah, 100%. There's a lot of smoke there. 100%. How could you not see what Mac is doing and be ticked off because we all think he's better than Jimmy G? Jimmy G's playing really well, but we think he's better than Jimmy G.
Yeah.
And where's Trey Lance? He's got the headset on. That's where he is. How could you not be mad?
I think Shanahan wanted Mac Jones. Public pressure. Eric Crocker, my boy Eric Crocker, pressured them into passing on Mac and taking Trey Lance. And everyone keeps talking about, what Trey Lance can become. I see what Mac Jones is right now. Do you think about what he would be doing with Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Elijah Mitchell? He's doing it with Jacoby Myers. And no disrespect to Jacoby Myers, Kendrick Bourne. I think it's going to happen, man. I'm just telling you right now, Jay. I'm telling you, and Lindsey Mack, it would be epic. Jay, we need to get the montage ready because I want to put out a Nike-level commercial about all the Mac Jones praise and hate from across the universe. And when he wins Offensive Rookie of the Year and he takes New England to a Super Bowl, I will play it every day for 6 months straight. Every damn day for 6 months. That commercial will run on Twitter, will run on this show, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, MySpace, Tinder, Bumble, all of it. It will run rampant. I will be insufferable if that happens. I'm already gonna be insufferable if he wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. But if he takes New England, if he takes them to the AFC title game, it's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get ugly. So, unfortunately, you are forcing me.
I'm not forcing you. I buried it in the show, Doc, and you know that.
How much time do we have left? We could end a little. We probably end this a little early. Derek Carr absolutely carved up the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving, and yes, this was a long time ago, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on this. This game was almost a week ago. Derek Carr was fantastic in this one. The Raiders beat Dallas in overtime. I don't remember what the score was. What was it, 33-30, something like that. This was a bad loss. It's a bad loss. Dallas is 0-3 in overtime games on Thanksgiving. Dak didn't go over his passing yards.
No, he did go over. Everyone went. It was a lot of overs.
What do you want me to say here? I mean, Dallas.
Who do you blame? Who do you blame? Do you blame Dallas? Do you blame the refs? A lot of penalties in this game. 14 penalties
yeah.
aside, 276 yards.
Yeah, I think honestly, being objective and being real, I don't blame the refs. I think the refs were terrible on both sides of the ball. There was
Yeah.
one play where the center for the Raiders moved his head up and down, and they do that every play, and they called a false start. That was a bullshit call for the Raiders. Bullshit call. I think the Darren Waller incomplete pass, fumble, it wasn't even reviewable. I thought that was a BS call. And of course, the big one, Anthony Brown. And a lot of people started ripping Anthony Brown after that game. Do you know going into that game, he had only given up one penalty? He had only had one penalty called on him the entire season. Anthony Brown had been playing good football up into that game. And then he gets 4 defensive pass interferences calls. And the big one, the last one, I just think that the NFL should review how. First of all, I don't think it should be a spot foul. I think it should be like I think there should be some
to the college rule,
like college, where it's a 15-yard penalty unless it's you tackle the guy and impede them from catching the ball. But it's like you're bailing out quarterbacks for bad throws. If I'm a QB, you almost rather underthrow the ball and teach your receiver to slow down and let them run into you to get the offensive pass interference call. I just think that the rule itself is a little twisted and wonky. I'm not going to blame the refs for the loss, man. Dallas put themselves in that position to lose. They didn't play well. Dak Prescott did not play well for the first 2.5 quarters, 3 quarters. He didn't play good football. Zeke wasn't playing well. Mike McCarthy didn't call a good game. Like they were drunk the entire. They were Thanksgiving hungover from all the turkey they ate pre-game. So I'm not going to blame the refs. I think the refs were terrible on both sides of the ball. And when you call 28 penalties, did that game not drag on forever? It felt like it was on all damn day.
It's a long game.
I just think Dallas got beat by the better team. The refs didn't help, but Dallas they could not stop Derek Carr. Max Crosby was destroying Terrence Steele. Micah Parsons was again a beast in that matchup. Even though he only had 1 sack, I mean, they were having to double and triple team. He's a force of nature, man. But ultimately, Dallas lost, man, and now they've lost 3 of 4 games. The only win in this 4-game stretch came against the Atlanta Falcons without Cordero Patterson. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not good for Dallas. But the division is so bad, they're still 7-4, and they're 2 games ahead in the division because it's so damn bad. Deshaun Jackson running circles around him. It just wasn't a good game. I'm not going to blame the refs. I just don't think Dallas played well enough to win. And that's all I've got. Hunter Renfrow doing damage against us. I mean, they couldn't stop anybody. Josh Jacobs looked good.
They were saved by that Pollard kick return touchdown. Like, that was what really flipped the game for them. But even still, it wasn't enough. Like, brought them to overtime, but it wasn't enough. They would have been down a lot if they couldn't do anything on that play. But you talk about Hunter Renfrow, went off. 8 for 9, 134 yards. Darren Waller got hurt, but
honestly, man, am I off base with this pass interference rule? Like, do you think it should be a spot foul, or do you think it should be, you know how they do the running into the kicker? If you run into the kicker, it's a 5-yard penalty. If you rough the kicker, it's 15 and auto first down. Like, do you think there should be some kind of levels to pass interference?
So that's how I feel actually about the roughing the passer rule. I think there should be levels to roughing the passer, for sure, because we see a lot of really bad roughing the passer calls.
Michael Parsons got one in that game. He did. His hand, Derek Carr was falling. He was on the ground, and his arm brushed his helmet, and they called roughing the passer on Michael Parsons. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, there's that one, especially when you see the hand slap the face or whatever. It's not even a face mask. It's literally just their flailing arm. It literally just hit his head. Yeah. But I don't necessarily agree with that from a standpoint of pass interference, because even the Anthony Brown one, I get the rule is weird, but they did kind of call it the way they call the rule. If you don't turn around and the receiver comes back, that's just how they call it. I'm not saying it's a good rule, but it's how it's called. Like, DBs, I know obviously you play DB, you're going to favor those DBs, and I do agree with that. It's an unfair rule. Like, we literally see Carson Wentz chuck up YOLO balls hoping to get a DPI, because if it's not a DPI, it gets intercepted or it falls incomplete. There is very few bad outcomes when you do that as a quarterback.
Very few.
We saw that that ball Carr threw was a YOLO ball. He was hoping to get a DPI against Anthony Brown again because he already had 3. So he thought, why not go to it again? And it was the same thing with Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun Jackson, he got a DPI as well, throwing a deep ball down the sideline on another just complete YOLO ball when someone was barreling in Carr's face. It's a bailout call. It totally is. But I don't know how you change it. The 15 yards would make a difference, but it's still automatic first down. So,
I'd take 15 yards opposed to 50 yards, man.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
They're field flippers sometimes, for sure, which is where it's a dicey rule.
And I'm just telling you, everybody just says, just turn your head around. Defensive back is the hardest position to play in football outside of quarterback. You play the entire game backwards. Like, you have to play the entire game moving backwards. And I just ask everybody, backpedal and try to turn around. And I know 99.9% of you are terrible athletes. I know you probably don't have an athletic bone in your body. So I guarantee you'll fall down. You will fall down. And these are trained professionals. But it is a lot easier said than done when you're running with your back to the ball to turn around and try to find whatever's going on. It's not that easy. It is not an easy feat to do. I just think they need to look at the rule. The rule just seems to be broken, and it's bailing out bad quarterback play. And I just don't think, even though whatever that call, don't let the refs decide the game, man. Because that was a game-flipping call.
Oh, yeah,
like
the game.
That was the game. That call was the game. And that was the 28th penalty in that one. Just kind of BS, man. Anyways, neither here nor there. Dallas plays New Orleans this Thursday. I think it's going to be another tough matchup, man. Taysom Hill starting, right? Taysom Hill starting that one.
Yeah, expected to start, which is interesting. Don't know how I feel about that.
Here's the thing. Dallas has not been good stopping the run. They haven't been good stopping the run versus anybody. So, at least when Amari Cooper's back, CeeDee Lamb is back, so that should help. Tyron Smith back again. But
and Mike McCarthy out.
I'm so over Mike McCarthy. So over it. Let's talk about a game that was, dude, the Vikings are turning into fantasy gold. Like the Vikings and the 49ers, fantasy gold. Elijah Mitchell. I had a conversation, Jay, with Jordan Backus, the director of the Prospect Talk database. Jordan Backus and I were talking last night. If Trey Sermon, right? Hear me out. If Trey Sermon were doing what Elijah Mitchell is doing right now, where would he be ranked amongst the running backs? Top 12.
Easy.
Top 12.
Easy.
If Trey Sermon would be doing what Elijah Mitchell is doing right now, if he's getting 32 touches, 5 receptions, 100 yards, 27 carries, if this were Trey Sermon, people would be valuing him as a top 10 running back in fantasy football. But because Elijah Mitchell was a 6th-round pick, because it's just Elijah Mitchell, people still aren't like all the way in. And I think his role is as safe can be. I mean, he's locked in. They have no other running back under contract besides Trey Sermon after this season. JaMychal Hasty, not under contract. Jeff Wilson, not under contract. Raheem Mostert, not under contract. They have 2 running backs at the end of this season who are under contract. Where is Elijah Mitchell going? And people still are like, I don't want to trade for him. I don't believe in him. He's not worth it for. Where's he going? As long as Kyle Shanahan is there and he's the guy. Elijah Mitchell is dope. He's balling. He's good. And he's still valued. And I think in points per game, he's RB 18 in points per game this season. And he's valued as like RB 40. Like nobody wants to trade for Elijah Mitchell. I regret moving him for a 2nd-round pick earlier this year because even though I put my flag on him early, you still don't know, right? You still don't know. Maybe Trey Sermon gets his act together. He's the guy. Yeah. He's the guy, and nobody fully believes in it. But if this were Trey Sermon, he'd be valued as a top 12 running back at worst. Deebo Samuel did his thing again, 6 carries, 66 yards, 2 damn touchdowns. I saw a stat. He's the first player in NFL history to have, I think it's 1,000 receiving yards, 5 touchdowns through the air, and 5 rushing touchdowns. No other player in NFL history, I believe, has done that. Pretty good. No other wide receiver, I believe, has done that. Brandon Ayuk, I saw Matt Harmon tweet a stat out that since week 8, Brandon Ayuk is 11th in receiving yards in the NFL since week 8. So Brandon Ayuk starting to get out of that doghouse. Kirk Cousins, 238, 2 touchdowns. Dalvin Cook, 6 receptions, 64 yards was his big takeaway. He fumbled late when he hurt his shoulder. Justin Jefferson, did he hit? 4 for 83. He hit the over, right?
What do you think? Do you think he hit it?
Yeah, he hit it. I think it was like 77 and a half.
Okay, so he hit the number on Prize Picks we talked about, but you know me, I had to look up the official line.
What was the official line?
The official line at closing was 84 and a half.
He didn't hit it.
I mean, it depends on who you ask, but if you bet the 84 and a half and you bet the under, you're looking pretty good.
Wow.
So I'll give it a push at best, because I think the number I gave out was like 76.
I thought it was like 70.
I looked it up when we did the show notes, but it was 76 when we talked about it, but it went all the way up to 84. So, if you're averaging down, like we talk about in the market, you're looking pretty good right now.
Anytime Jefferson plays outdoors, he doesn't hit. Most of the times.
When he plays outdoors?
When he plays outdoors.
Yeah, because his number is like 75 to 80, but his average outdoors is like 62 or 63 or whatever. It's a little bit higher now. But I want to go back to Elijah Mitchell, because this thing that no one's really talking about that you probably didn't know about till I just brought it up to you right now. Did you know that he's played 60% of snaps in every single game but one? Every single game that he has played in at all, he's played 60% of snaps or better. The only game he didn't play that was the game he got 27 carries against the Rams. He only played 53% of snaps.
And that was that was his first game back, I believe, from that rib injury that he had suffered as well.
Yes, but every other game he's played, 60% of snaps or better. And he broke the Niners record for 100 rushing yard games as a rookie. I think he's here to stay.
He's here to stay.
I think he's here to stay.
He's here to stay. I wish I had him still. Damn it.
He's damn good, and he plays a lot of snaps, and he gets a lot of work. Like, there's some games he may not get as much carries as we'd like, but he's still playing 60% of snaps.
Yeah.
Why are you running away from that player? Yes, he has a 9-carry game. Yes, he has an 8-carry game. Every other game, he's above 17 carries.
Yeah. I mean, he's good.
And he's playing 60%.
I'm telling you, if this
I agree
were Trey
with you.
Sermon,
top 12.
If it were Trey Sermon, he'd be top 12. Easy.
100%.
Quick temp check around the league. The Bengals 7-4, heating up, and they're doing it without Jamar Chase. They're doing it on the ground with Joe Mixon just beasting right now. I think Joe Mixon is second in the NFL in rushing yards, or did he overtake JT in rushing yards?
No, because he's not. He's at 924 right now. I'll have to
Mostert's
see
not
where.
Under contract. Mostert's not under contract next year.
No, he's not.
Will he come back? I don't know, but he's not under contract, so they'd have to. I don't see why they would. What'd you say about Joe Mixon?
He's got 924 right now, so he's not over JT. JT's over 1,000.
Yeah,
for
JT's
sure he's
over
1,000.
Yeah,
it's Nick Chubb, who I'm not. He's probably over Nick Chubb, because Nick Chubb's missed a lot of games.
I think he's second or third in the NFL in rushing, but they're doing it on the legs and their defense, man. Cincinnati's defense playing really well. It's scary to think once they get Jamar Chase back cooking. He's had 3 straight games under 50 receiving yards. I think he's got a couple of touchdowns in those matchups, but like we talked about yesterday, they're like, Jamar's not going to beat us. The Chargers coming off of a bad loss to Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater and the Broncos. Remember a couple of weeks ago, maybe it was about a month and a half ago, when everybody was just losing their minds over Brandon Staley and how good he is. I was like, just wait until they start losing, and then everybody's going to hate, because everybody's like, he's my favorite coach. I love Brandon Staley. And I was like, as soon as they start losing, they will turn. Fans are as fickle can be. Only true fans like myself rock with teams through the good and the bad. And that's why I can enjoy this good feeling today, because I rock with my squads, win, lose, or draw. But as soon as they start shitting the bed, people are going to be calling for Brandon Staley's head. The offense hasn't looked good. Herbert has been... Listen, people lose their minds over one Justin Herbert throw a game. The one he made to Jared Cook in the end zone, incredible throw, arm strength, power. But he's been a little streaky, and we had a big conversation about Justin Herbert being the Blake Griffin of the NFL. Star. He's a star. We know he's a star. Can you win with Justin Herbert? I don't know. Maybe.
2 picks plus a pick 6 for PS2. Pretty good game from the Broncos, if you ask me, and against Drew Lock. Yuck.
I mean, even if it's Teddy Bridge, Teddy Bridgewater had the highest QBR over the weekend of all the quarterbacks. Teddy Bridgewater. I mean,
yuck.
I'm just asking the question. I am not bad-mouthing Justin Herbert. I'm just asking, can you win with him? We'll see. He's young. He's a young quarterback. He's a top quarterback. But maybe all of the Justin Herbert over Patrick Mahomes takes were quite a bit premature. You know, you gotta wait a little bit. In the Philadelphia Eagles, let's end on them. Where they go from here, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see these practice reports. If Jalen Hurts is going to play, if you had to guess right now, is he in this week or is he out?
Honestly, I think Sirianni might hold him out.
You think so?
I think he might. Because remember, they do have the bye week coming up.
Yep,
so they're playing the Jets. So it's not a big deal. They can throw Minshew in there. They can probably win. But then as well, Miles Sanders is also a little bit banged up. So maybe they both get rested. They run the old Jordan Howard, Boston Scott tandem for 40 carries. Maybe throw the ball with Minshew, I don't know, 15, 16 times and probably win. But the Jets are actually playing decent football. I think that they can maybe give the Eagles a run for their money if Minshew doesn't play very well. But we'll see. You know, Rager is still struggling a little bit. Jalen Hurts was talking about how
he's done.
He just tells him to stay.
Rager doesn't need listen. I cannot publicly slander him because got a relationship. I know him. I can't do that. But it's over. The Rager experience in Philly is a wrap, man. It's a wrap. Maybe he can resurface with another team, change the scenery, but it's over.
So I have a conspiracy for you since we're on a little bit conspiracy day today. What happens when Gardner Minshew starts and Devonta Smith gets like 20 targets? Like just a shitload of targets.
Yeah.
Because he was complaining last week about how he didn't get the ball. So then what happens in that locker room when you have Smitty who wants the ball, he gets the ball for one game against the Jets. It's the Jets, so he's going to go for like 150, 200. Yeah. And then what happens? Because you want Smitty happy in that offense.
It's interesting because a lot of big sports media outlets were talking about that game, and they were all talking about how demonstrative Devonta Smith was coming up. They said he like threw his helmet, was cussing people out, and everybody was like, that ain't him. Like, he's never been that kind of guy. So for him to be that pissed off at the end of the game, like, is not a good look for Philadelphia. It's not a good look for Jalen Hurts. Like, a lot of big-name people were like, that's not a good look to have that happening already. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Philadelphia. But I'll tell you right now, for a man who's fighting for at least his future in Philadelphia, maybe future in the NFL, that interception he YOLO'd out of the end zone, first of all, it didn't look like his arm was strong enough to even throw it down that far. And then there was two defenders, like there was no shot of that being caught. None. Now, to his credit, he did throw two beautiful balls to Rager, which he dropped both of them. But it's going to be interesting to watch that situation play out. But damn, it's already 8 o'clock. All right, we're out of here. We're getting out of here. I'm going to do some laundry so I don't have to wear this Sooners jersey tomorrow. This was all I had. I'm still smiling and still happy. I'm glad y'all. Oh, one thing, Jay, check this out, man. Check this out, bro. One of the good supporters, man. Look at this dope Black Panther.
Damn.
Yeah, isn't that sick? He does all. I gotta give him a shout out.
You can't put that on, can you? Because I don't need you cursing the Black Panther.
No, we will not curse the Black Panther. He does this thing. Y'all need to check him out. I'm gonna give you his Instagram. When people do dope stuff, I like to shout him out. And he does all these like 3D printouts of like all these Marvel characters and stuff. UATU the Watcher 616. Like, it's super dope, man. And they got me. You see Scorpion from Mortal Kombat in the background right there. There's Scorpion right there. He sent those to me. Go check him out. UATU the Watcher 616 on Instagram. It's got dope stuff. Go check out dope people. We appreciate y'all tapping in today. I will not put on the Black Panther helmet because we do not need to curse the Black Panther. Shout out to Chadwick Boseman. Rest in peace, man. We appreciate y'all tapping in. Wake up with RayG. We'll be back tomorrow with more content, more news. We out of this thing. We out. Peace.